Welcome back. Alfred, you were more or less like giving a lecture there. You talked about, you said issues about restructuring when it comes to the economy, not restructuring as in dismembering the country.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Bamdele, that when he said, let's x-ray the country and restructure, looking at what's working and what is not working, put that against funding for small businesses as it is now. The interest rate from the banks is about between 20 and 30%, as the case may be. How's that helping the small businesses?
The truth of the matter is that a lot of...
Especially in the fact, in the light of the ease of registering a company.
Now, the ease of registering is like giving a tool of work to somebody, and the person gets to where he's meant to do the work, and you just discover that for one reason or the other, you could not. Now, if I want to take the availability of capital that you just mentioned now as a matter, many small businesses in Nigeria, they have died even before they started. And I will tell you why. Now, the truth of the matter is, high interest rate shouldn't even be a subject of discussion when you want to really drive entrepreneurship. Now, go to nations of the world where they are thriving. Interest rate when it comes to startups are most of the time single unit, single digit. Now, I'll give you a practical example. A young lady finished from one of the universities of education. I think we just have a few of them, but the one in Ogun State, to be very specific. After a long time of looking for a job here and there, nothing is happening, she came up with an idea. And she said, I discovered that in the neighborhood where I live, a lot of people are corporate people, leave in early in the morning, come back late in the night. To even go to the market to get basic things for the house is a tall order for them. I will go to the market, buy tomato, all the other kinds of pepper that they need to cook, put them together, and sell at a certain price where I will have made a small margin for myself. The idea sounded so good to me. And I said, wow, let's see how it goes. The first basket of all the things she bought, everything went bad. Number one, to even raise the money, that was a tall order, but we were able to do that one way or the other. Which shouldn't be the case. But the second question is, what made the pepper go bad? They could not be preserved because there was no power supply. At the end of the day, the young lady, the money she borrowed from people based on credibility, not even from the bank now. It became a matter of she sees those people and you want to run away because you promised them, I will pay you back at so time. You couldn't. But thank God for people like us who I really knew she was sincere. I really knew she had a drive. She wanted to do something. But look at it. What is going to be the profit margin on what that young man wants to do? By the time you get the gross income, you take out the expenses, what is left, take out what he or she is paying as interest to the bank. What a lot of Nigerians is doing really is a lot of activity but no productivity. Because it appears you are doing something. But when you really sit down and now do the calculation, you discover that you are not even having anything left, not to talk of you want to say you are living on it. So a lot of people are actually eating their capital without knowing.
But we're still talking about the small businesses.
Yes.
The initiative, the social investment initiative of the government, trader money, market money, and all of that, is that not, that takes out that part of interest rates? I mean, exorbitant interest rates for the small businesses.
Let's ask ourselves a question.
No, there are different levels. There's trader money, there's market money. So,
which one is 10,000? I think is
trader money. Yeah.
Let's ask ourselves.
What can 10,000 naira do?
While we celebrate the initiative, but when you think it through, you discover that what you are just doing is, let's give these people something so that they will keep quiet for a while. Because what will 10,000 naira do? Some families, their breakfast alone. Yes, you might be saying I'm going to the extreme of the, maybe of the hype, but what will 10,000 naira do?
No, but if you are, for instance, if you are a bolly seller, or you are selling groundnuts, or you're selling oranges, 10,000 naira will go a long way to help. I mean, okay, you invest 10,000 naira, maybe you make an additional 2,000 on it.
Let me quickly say something. I want to see, this I observed somewhere around us here, I wouldn't want to mention name. Let's take that body seller. Where would she be to do that business?
Under a parasol.
After a few hours, after a few days, after a few weeks, some government agencies come to say to her, you don't have the right to be in that place. I've been there. That day I felt like weeping. Please, we need to balance this. I'm not saying people should be selling things on the road at the risk of their lives. But the question is, this woman with the 10,000 naira, can she even pay for a shop?
No.
That is no. So the only alternative that is available to her is find somewhere where I can be. And then that day, I was there. All of their, what do you call it now? All of their wares.
Taken away.
Taken away. Back to square one.
Oh.
So it's a web of issues, really.
Life is a bitch.
Like we said, the intentions are good, but I think we need to really sit down, think through, and do something that is holistic so that we will know that even if it is 100 people we do and do well, we know that those people have been taken out of the poverty dungeon.
Alfred, let's look at how to move forward. We've heard all of this. How do we move forward? You're the one that raised that matter of you registered a company but no funding to run the company. So how do we move forward as a nation?
For me, I'm a governmentalist. By that I mean I believe more in persuasive governance, not this hierarchical approach of governance. You see, corruption is a bad thing. Corruption is not good at all. We need to fight corruption. But I think the current administration and even administrations to come, we need to tweak the way we fight corruption. Don't forget that part of what has kept us in this economic mess is not just the downing of the oil price. The body language of the government at a particular time also contributed to the fleeing of some forms of investment or capital out of this country. That also contributed. So what I'm trying to say is I want to appeal to the president, the presidency, that just like the Bible says, all have sinned and have come short of the glory. What we need to do is to sit down and look at those things that are not working in this country, such as power, and see how we can fix those things. Because the multiplier effect is that it's going to help fix a whole lot of other things. Because, you see, when we approach the government in the manner we are approaching it now, the fight against corruption, it's even rubbing off on the president, because while you are fighting, people are also asking other questions. Are you clean? Even if the president as a person is clean, what is around him? Is it clean? So these are very potent questions, and you can't trash them away. You remember that recently, even the secretary to the government of the federation was involved with one grass cutter thing former secretary.
But you see, so, you mentioned power. Power generation, for instance, has increased in this country. The highest in a very long time, up to 7,000 megawatts.
Yes.
That's something we should celebrate.
No,
hold on.
Okay.
The fact that generation has gone up, that's something we should celebrate. Now, the other arms of the power sector, is it a question of no standards or no enforcement of those standards that are existing? Is that where the problem is?
No, the problem will be that I think the federal government is taking too much for itself and it's not able to control it. Let me give you an example. The state I come from, Bayelsa State, is endowed in gas. We are one of the littoral states. And if you know much about power, you can generate a whole lot of power from gas. You can generate a whole lot of power from the hydros. And that kind of state is not also far from the wind and the rest. So you begin to ask a question. Why is the power equation so concurrently exclusive? Because I say this because the generation, the distribution, it's in a concurrently, but the transmission is almost an exclusive thing. So you now begin to ask. That's why I talk about the restructuring. Would it not be better if we dismember this power thing and every state can generate power and probably sell, the implication is this. Number one, if states like my Bayelsa are able to take advantage of investors that are coming to generate our own power, probably it will